the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
Hell yeah. High
Super Bowl
expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
What the fuck?
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back. Welcome back to After Further Review. It's your boys, episode 205. I am your co-host, John Brown.
And I'm your other co-host, Malin Dennis. I'm really excited about having Ray Charles back from the dead tonight. Appreciate it.
And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
And
I think hold on. I think we can all agree. Like, seriously, man, I've never seen it before, but with you wearing them sunglasses, you're like a modern day version of Ray Charles, man. You got the bone structure, everything going on there, man. You look just like him. I swear to God, doesn't he? Doesn't he, June?
But you know no good.
Well, modern day Ray.
and as
Patriots
Malin
can
just
take your eyesight, but they can't take
teased
your heart.
there, our special first half guest this week is, of course, no other than Mr. Junebug Spade. What's going on, June?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me back again.
Yes, sir. There's nobody else I'd rather have on this show. Favorite.
I'm gonna tell G Money you said that.
Mm.
In the first half of the show. Now, gentlemen, we need to start off the show on the right foot by taking a shot. Week 1 in the
Hey,
books.
we all ended week 1 on the right foot.
Hey! All of our teams won this week.
All of them, baby.
All of them.
All of
You
them.
know, it's week 2. But enjoy it while it lasts.
Take it all in. Because you never know when it'll be gone.
Oh, I do. It'll be gone for you next week.
Folks, if you are new to the show, we are an NBA and NFL podcast. We live stream the show every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern Time. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, that is. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, feel free to do that. It is completely free to do. Just click the first link down in your podcast description below. Also, give the video a like. Come back next Wednesday, 9:30. You'll catch us live. You can weigh in the live chat. We'd love to hear from you. And besides that, let's get right into this week's show. By the way, the only reason I'm wearing sunglasses this week is because I'm feeling myself, because I won in every possible way I could have when it comes to the NFL.
Life. There you go.
Yes. So let's hop into the week 1 recap. Let me find it here. What a wild week 1. Let me just start off by saying, what a wild week 1. And it's so great to have football back in the swing. So let's start off.
To say,
go ahead.
Pittsburgh did beat Atlanta. Oh, y'all.
Okay.
That was gaslighting me last time. Pittsburgh beat Atlanta.
I don't remember that.
June even took it upon himself to go back to the video and comment from like 2 months ago.
Right.
Hey, if Mr. Unlimited had been playing, it would have been a different story. That's my only backdrop. All I got.
All right, let's start off with the first game, which was the Ravens and the Chiefs, the AFC Championship rematch, where the Chiefs held on 27-20. Ravens couldn't quite force that overtime or a 2-point conversion situation with likely stepping out of bounds in the back of the end zone there. This was a great thriller to start off this season. But June, let's start off with you. What did you think of the season opener?
And that was, if this is any indication how this season's going to go, we're going to have a great NFL season. And one thing it proves that these two are the best two teams in the NFL. Okay, we saw great defense, we saw great offense, we saw two quarterbacks that can go out there and just get it done. Derrick Henry, he still looks strong in his debut. The man looks strong. He looked like he's ready to play some football. And the Chiefs, oh my God, what did we do? What did we do by giving him Xavier Worthy? I mean, what in the hell? I'm happy because, of course, he's a Longhorn. But the simple fact of the matter is that we gave this man a serious weapon to play with. And this dude is, and he just toyed with this team. And this is one of the best defenses in the NFL. This man just took an end around, gone. Another deep catch, gone. Other catches. Every time he touched the ball, it was an explosive play. And I'm like, my God, man, what is going to happen to teams this season when they have to face the Chiefs and have all these weapons, and they still got Juju. Juju's back. He didn't do much in that game, but he didn't need to. Okay, that running game and Pacheco, that dude looks stronger than he was last year. I'm telling you now, he looks stronger. And how to come the Chiefs have two tight ends? They got two tight ends.
I don't know. I got two tight ends.
Yeah, and oh God. And then both teams got two, and then Baltimore. Then you go to Baltimore. Baltimore, you find out they have another great tight end, and likely. Everybody who had the starting tight end was upset, but the simple fact of the matter, now they got two weapons out there at tight end. So these are two teams, and dare I say, these are the two best teams in the AFC. And more than likely, that's going to be your AFC Championship game once again.
Malin, go ahead. What'd you think about the opener?
Man, I was bored. I was bored at the opener. For several reasons. Okay, one, now there was a lot of bad offensive play that happened over the first week in the NFL. A lot of bad offensive play. Dylan, you gotta stop moving your head like that because you're giving me way too much Ray Charles vibes. Just gonna keep it still for me so I can focus on what I'm saying.
I do have a keyboard in front of me.
Listen, the fact that June talks all this stuff about Xavier Worthy, right? He was really electric on the 3 times he touched the fucking ball. Patrick Mahomes was under 300 yards, a touchdown, an interception. He had a QBR of 70. Okay, that's not world beating. Travis Kelce didn't do nothing. Only got me 6.4 points in fantasy. Fuck him. Pacheco is now on a 4-week IR stint, isn't he? For PTSD. He's dealing with PTSD right now. Did you guys read that today?
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, no, it's not him. It's Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire. Whoever.
Oh, okay.
For now. He's dealing with PTSD. Apparently, he served overseas and he got PTSD from it. So whatever. Lamar, let's talk about Derrick Henry. June's talking. He's ready to play football. June. The only thing is the Ravens aren't letting him play fucking football. 13 carries.
Yeah.
How does your quarterback have more rushing carries than Derrick Henry? That is not sustainable. What do we do? You didn't bring in when John Harbaugh was asked about it, he was like, "Well, we're not bringing him in here to do 30 carries a game. We got all these people." He lifted off 7 people that have touched football. I'm like, "Sir, you bring in Derrick Henry so that Lamar Jackson doesn't get beat up running the goddamn football. You have to pound the rock with him for the first 2 quarters So he starts breaking the game open in the third and the fourth. But they didn't use him. They didn't utilize him. He was like a weapon. You just kept in your holster the entire goddamn game. Zay Flowers didn't do anything for me. I like Isaiah Likely. The only person that stood out to me outside of Worthy on the 3 times he touched the goddamn ball was Isaiah Likely. Because he literally had what was it, like 111 yards. I know he had a touchdown. He got knocked the fuck out on that same drive at the end of the game. Got upended like 8 feet in the air, and then came back. And I mean, I'm sorry that you're wearing a size 12 when you should wear an 11. I mean, literally,
That's what it came back.
We're a fucking toenail away from overtime, and yet he's still going up the tunnel saying "fuck the Chiefs, we'll be back." So I like Isaiah Likely. I like his confidence there. Cut your big ass toe off. You don't need it to run anyways. Size down a shoe. Hey, listen, women have been doing it for years. You seen women's feet when they wear heels? Just do it, Likely. You should have been doing it. But I don't know, man. Like, it was just not. Am I wrong in thinking like it wasn't explosive? Like it wasn't like this,
Yes.
oh my God, we're back and forth like all this. No, I'm not. I'm like, it was boring for the most part. Up until the last quarter of the game when it was a little bit closer. But they didn't. Neither
That's what it's all
team
about.
utilized their weapon. Neither team utilized their weapons the way they should have the whole game. The whole game. Lackluster quarterback play from both of them. When you have a under 70 QBR from both quarterbacks, and both of those quarterbacks are Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, you're not having good quarterback play. I'm sorry. So I don't know. It's kind of to me. Great finish.
Yeah.
Great finish because someone's got a big toe, but the other 3.5 quarters,
Yeah, I guess for Nestor and I, we were out watching this game, so the environment was a bit different. Sure, watching it at home is probably a bit like. But I will say that the Chiefs, I agree with Colin Cowherd. Chiefs and the rest of the NFL kind of screwed up letting the Chiefs win last year. Because that was the best chance to knock them off was last year. Because now they look even better.
Now they got word of it.
So now I don't know what the hell we're going to do to stop these motherfuckers. But this game and the Chiefs entirely just went to show that in order to beat the Chiefs, it's a lot like the Patriots dynasty. You've got to play mistake-free football. Because the Ravens, it's like time and time again, it just comes down to just like a few key little things here and there that the Ravens shoot themselves in the foot, and the Chiefs just aren't going to do that. I'm not going to say you got to play a perfect game necessarily, but you can't make more mistakes in timely moments than the Chiefs do, because that's just what keeps killing the Ravens. And it was week 1, so it was sloppy play on both.
They only had 1 turnover, and they still couldn't beat it.
Yeah, exactly. And Lamar, he tried. He clearly was on a mission to like really, really try. He looked like he was trying to, play a playoff game. But there's so many sloppy plays and flags on offense of them lining up wrong.
That was a little bit off-putting.
Well, that wasn't so much the Ravens. That's the officiating. I think they kind of fucked up on that.
Yeah, there's clearly
that
an
was not
emphasis
being called.
on.
Yeah, that wasn't being called in the preseason.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, week 1, and they were not calling it fairly because they should have been calling it on the Chiefs just as much as they were the Ravens. But it kind of felt like whoever got the coin toss and got the ball first, they were going to make an example out of that left tackle. But the Kansas City left tackle was doing the same goddamn thing most of the game. So that was kind of disappointing, the amount of flags. And we saw a shit ton of flags on every primetime game we had this.
Yeah, but to wrap this up, I'm just going to say that the Ravens, in order to beat the Chiefs, they've got to play damn near close to mistake-free football. There was a couple Ravens fans where we were at leaving the game, and they were like, we can never beat them. We just cannot beat these guys. And it's like,
Right.
I really don't think it's a talent thing. I don't even think it's a coaching thing. It just seems to be when it matters most, you gotta clean up all the little stuff. But go ahead. Mister.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I think we see this characteristic out of most teams that have dynasties, not only just in football, but in other sports. Like when you tend to see dynasties, they're very clean. They play pretty clean in that respect of sport. They do everything really well. It helps that Andy Reid is a mastermind. It helps that Mahomes knows how to manage every part of the game so well. I agree with everything you guys said. I mean, Mahomes had 291 yards, touchdown, interception, nothing crazy. Rashee Rice, which is pretty much, thank God, their wide receiver one at the moment. Again, nothing crazy. He had like 103 yards, like nothing out of this world. And Xavier Worthy, we can thank the Bills for that. Ironically, I think there's only one man that can stop the Chiefs. It's not the Ravens, and it's sure as hell not the damn Bengals. After what we saw week 1, so I'm hoping they clean this up. The Bills, I know, horrible take. I know, hot take, but that's the only team because the Ravens have already tried this twice and they've gotten burned twice. I don't see anything in there. Great for all of you, Isaiah likely owners in fantasy. That's great. But he's not going to make a difference, as we saw. And yeah, the Chiefs look better. They're doing what they usually do, which is manage the game very damn well, even better now. They have it down to like a T. So yeah, Pacheco very efficient as always. This whole team just has this whole championship thing nailed down. So yeah,
They are not a dynasty yet. Yet.
I'm
No.
saying they're done.
That's
That's just me.
It's a
though.
teeter.
no,
It's a teeter.
No. Up until this Chiefs thing, a dynasty was 3 and 4 years. It's always been 3 and 4 years, and the team never lost a Super Bowl in the midst of that. They won it in 3 and 5 years. Okay? Maybe if they didn't shit the bed against the Bucks, they would have been a dynasty already. But 3 and 5 years doesn't cut it. No, every June, am I wrong? 3 and 4 years has always been the benchmark. Always been the benchmark. 3 and 4 years. You get 3 and 4 years, you're a dynasty. It's not 3 and 5. We're not adding shit just to make Chiefs fans feel better. Fuck you people. Beat the Bucks, you'd be a dynasty. So
All right, we need to move on to the next game.
yeah, we do.
Next game, this one overseas. The Eagles took down the Packers 34-29 in the first ever Brazil game. This was another penalty-riddled game. But June, go ahead. What do you think about the second game of the season?
Yeah, it was a lot of penalties in this game. Both teams got some work to do, and I feel bad for now Jordan Love. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. It's a sprained MCL, so I feel bad for him. I mean, both teams played pretty decent. They're not. I don't see any fear. I don't see nothing that says, "Oh, these are the best two teams in the NFC." They're the top teams, and they're two of the top teams in the NFC. Both teams got some work to do. Barkley did look good in his debut as an Eagle, but that was more of the scheme, as it was because he started off the game very slow. It was a very slow start for them, and for him. And the Packers and the Eagles defense, they're supposed to be very good defenses. And I said this, and I think somebody else said this too. Somebody else said this. Losing those two safeties was going to hurt the Packers. It's hard to get that back, especially at the beginning of the season. And you got two brand new safeties, and I think right now the Packers are seeing that, and they, Hurts put up 267. No, what did he put up? What did he end up putting up? 278. Hurts 278. But then Hurts was a little bit sloppy with the ball too because That because if I think the Packers got 2 interceptions, I didn't know there was a third or fourth one that they dropped. One should have been for a pick six. So Hurts has got to take care of the ball better in those type of situations. But hey, you know what? Saquon Barkley, he came out, he got 100 yards, he had 3 touchdowns. Good for him in his debut. But I feel bad for the Packers because they got a lot of work to do, and we don't know how long Jordan Love's going to be out. So we'll see what happens. But hey, good game, very sloppy. Both defenses better tighten up before they start playing some other teams within their conferences. So,
before you go, Malin, I just want to mention that all those people giving June shit on TikTok, those Packers fans, because he called out them losing those 2 safeties. They said, "You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know ball. We improved that safety, man." Mm-hmm.
They got cooked. Damn.
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Okay. Go ahead, Malin.
I tried to catch.
I'll just say this: if y'all think them safeties got cooked by Jalen Hurts, then Packers fans are really going to be in for a rude awakening because Jalen Hurts played like shit. That was he. Can we stop pretending that he's even a top 15 quarterback at this point?
Damn.
He played one good half of football the year they went to the Super Bowl. He was
like
garbage before it. He was garbage before it, and he was garbage after the Super Bowl. All right? He had a bad year last year.
I will not disagree with this.
He was terrible now. We saw that first quarter. We saw that first quarter. No, we saw that first quarter. We saw the fumble and then that interception to who were you throwing to? Like, the equator was that way, man, if you're trying to throw it to that. What the fuck are we doing? And listen, miss me with Saquon Barkley. He's going to have 2 to 3 good games in September. He's going to be hurt in October, and the Eagles are going to be fucked. We all know this. This is what Saquon Barkley does. It was good for him. Hey, listen, three touchdowns, 109 yards, running the ball. He had to carry 24 times for 100 yards. But he's had a good game. But we all know that this isn't going to be Saquon Barkley for 17 weeks, right? We can all agree on that. This is not going to be him for 17 weeks. You know what I'm really pissed about? I'm really pissed off that when we were doing the fantasy draft, I had AJ Brown and Puka Nacua, and I chose Puka Nacua, who's now on IR for 4 weeks. And AJ Brown went off for 119 yards and a touchdown. So I guess don't listen to a single thing I say about fucking sports. Yeah, Josh Jacobs. Who the fuck are you now? What? Sir. Like, why were you running into the white shirts? Why were you looking for defenders? What happened to the speed? Where's the speed? I need you. I need you to be you, especially with Jordan Love being hurt. And Packers fans, y'all better eat some cheese and wine, because with Malik Willis, you already know what's going to happen after those last few plays. Only Malik Willis trying to throw a deep ball to the end zone is going to step into a fucking sack to end the game. Only Malik Willis is going to do that. So I hope that Jordan Love comes back, because I do think he is a really great player. That MCL sprain, I love LaFleur talking about, well, he may or may not play this week. He just needs to be clear about the shut up, man. He's not playing. You got the Black Gumby out here at quarterback this week. Just deal with it. So Love is gone. Josh Jacobs, stop running into the other team. That's a problem. Get me some goddamn fantasy points, please. I'd appreciate it. And can we not go back to Brazil? Like, I don't know about you guys, but every single goddamn time something happened on the field, it's the only time I've ever heard the PA announcer acting like someone running for 5 yards just scored a goal in the fucking World Cup. Like, shut up. I don't. What are we doing? He was like,
I don't know.
Josh Jacobs run into a defender for 2 yards. It was like, I was like, God damn,
I don't know
But
what was
that
up
was
with
like-
the,
what is happening?
with the audio mix that game, but they could have toned out or tuned out that the PA. Like, I don't know why we could
I
hear him in the
mean,
first place.
I love the
Right.
excitement, but you know, Ronaldo and Messi ain't out there, man. We just out there running 4 yards in a cloud of dust most of this time with Jacobs.
This-
Every second down that went for a yard just went fucking nuts. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus, man. He is
I feel like
hyped.
this game in particular, we could have a whole podcast episode in and of itself. But the Eagles' offense on one side of things, gotta say, the Eagles' offense was like fucking Ratatouille, the movie. You got a bunch of rats who make these great dish at the end. The shit ain't pretty, but the dish is pretty nice. And I was like, there's
Mhm.
flashes of what could really work here. They've got to get Hurts and Jernigan, I think is the new center's name. Or
Mhm.
Jurgensen, like the fucking lotion. I don't know. But they got to get him and Hurts figured out because obviously that was really messy throughout the game.
Yeah.
But that's kind of to be expected, with Kelsey being gone. So I think that will get worked out within the next couple of weeks or so. Saquon, like Malin said, don't expect that every week. But if they can it's just his health. If he can just stay healthy, he doesn't need to have that performance every single week. If it's just here and there, he has an outstanding game where he just goes wild and has a hat trick. Great. But ideally, he could score a touchdown or two a game. That would be nice. It's just his health. And then the receivers, they looked outstanding. I think we all know what Brown and Smith can do. So great there. It's just, will Jalen Hurts clean up the play? Because there's just way too much erratic decision making. Where you're like, why would you have thrown that ball into that area? And he needs to come back to earth, because there's times where he looks like a very good top dozen quarterback, and there's times where he's like pushing into the 20s, and you're like, where do you actually stand here? Because it's very unclear. But they just need to clean that up offensively. If they do, they can be one of the top 5 offenses in the NFL, no doubt. On the other hands of things, I will say the defense kept Philly in this game without a doubt, because there was so many times where Hurts was just giving them the ball and the Packers were in the red zone and they were only able to come away with 3 points. So shout out to the Eagles defense, because that was impressive on that point. But the Packers, like Malin said, Josh Jacobs, what the hell? I don't know what's going on there, but they've got to figure that out. They've really got to figure that out now without Jordan Love. And just the whole Jordan Love thing was really unfortunate to see him go down in the first game. Like, damn. And they've got kind of a easy schedule right now, which is, I'm assuming, where they want to kind of stack up some wins, because later in their schedule is really tough. So I don't know what they're going to do with Malik Willis going into, I know they've got Tennessee, they've got Indy next week, which I don't think they're going to win that one. They've got Minnesota, and then I think the Rams after that, which maybe Love is back by then. If he's not, I can't see them beating the Rams. So they're in a bit of trouble, because once Love comes back, they've got some really tough games to get at. So
I got 2 things for Nescos. One is, how fucked up is it that Jordan Love was the highest paid quarterback when he got hurt, but he didn't even finish the weekend being the highest paid quarterback? I think that's kind of funny. Number 2, everything you said is completely true about the Eagles and them being scary good if they can figure it out. But Jalen, I have to ask you, do you think the Eagles are going to be able to figure it out? They could be a top 2 team in the NFC if they can figure it out and Barkley stays healthy.
Yeah.
Or do you think they will?
I don't, because it's too many things that need to go right. Will Saquon stay healthy? Will Jalen Hurts' decision making improve? Will him and Jurgen work out this? Like, it's a lot of moving pieces. Some of them I think will be figured out, but it's asking too much for all of it to come to fruition.
And then one other thing I'll say to that is that means the head coach is going to get fired after this year, and Bill Belichick is either going to be the head coach of the Cowboys or the Eagles. Book it now, people. Cowboys or Eagles, whichever team fucks up the most and doesn't keep their coach, Bill Belichick is going to be the coach of that team.
Yeah. Nestor, what's going on with your boy Jordan Love?
I hated. I'm 3 for 4 out
Yeah,
of
you fuck him. You fuck
quarterbacks.
him.
Because the only quarterback that has not gotten hurt when I drafted him, actually, I think he got hurt that year. I'm not exactly sure. Josh Allen. The other guy is Trey Lance. He died.
You drafted Trey Lance?
He did.
Yeah, there was a year. It was auto draft.
It was the year he got hurt against the Seahawks.
That was the auto draft year.
Oh, I gotta turn my mic off. Holy shit.
Tua got hurt. Yeah, and this man gets hurt now. First week. Yeah, I hope he comes back because what we were seeing, like they were keeping up with Philly's offense, and Reed was going off. That man was playing so well. That little juke he did to shake off that defender before he scored a touchdown. Damn, it was such a good game before Jordan Love went down. And the Eagles defense was able to, kind of like stop them at certain points, certain crucial points, and that's what made the difference there. Apart from the fact that Jordan Love went down, but even if Jordan Love had not gone down, I feel like they were going to lose that game just because of how Philly's defense was performing. Why are we playing in Brazil? That's I don't understand why we're doing that because I don't know what we're trying to prove. The Eagles players that were concerned about the safety, as they should. I made a video on this. They should be concerned. I don't know why we keep acting like South America isn't dangerous. I don't know why we keep acting like that. I don't have running water tomorrow. I don't have what is this? Michigan? I don't have water tomorrow in Sarasota because it's kind of like it's very similar to like Colombia.
Right.
It's a big plumbing community, and we're kind of like it's pretty established.
That's why everyone retires there.
No running water can use a drainage. Like it's
they want that third world country feel down there.
We have people. I don't know who's behind the scenes acting like we need to do this. Why? Who's asking for this?
Don't. We don't need NFL football in Mexico. We don't need it in Brazil. We don't need it in South America. We don't need it anywhere. I still question why we do as many games as we do in London, or Germany, because we have the fans there. I get it, but we're never going to have an NFL team there. You're never going to be able to logistically figure out having a team south of the border in the United States or overseas. You can logistically figure it out in Toronto. You can logistically figure it out in Vancouver, which you won't. You can logistically figure that out in Canada, but you can't do it any other place to make it make sense and to be fair, especially when taxes are involved and money. Jesus Christ. It's just never going to happen. We don't need to be playing NFL games in Brazil. We always have issues when we go south of the border. Fix your fucking water first, and then we'll have an NFL game.
I mean, if they're gonna put an NFL game anywhere, keep it within the continent, not in the within our territories. We'll have a game out in Guam. You know what I mean? That's go have a game over in Hawaii. Have an NFL game over in Hawaii.
Puerto Rico.
We'll have a game over in the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. Let's have games. We got territories. We can have games in. We could do that.
Like
you know what I mean?
We got territories.
Now, if Colombia wants to make a football team, the Colombian chain stealers.
Yeah.
We can go ahead and destroy them.
Hypothetically.
That chain got stolen to Sarasota. I'm trying to save your fucking job right now, Nestor. Shut up.
Now, I do want to say this before we move on to the next one. I do want to say this. Kellen Moore, 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 Kellen Moore,
This man
This is a
hates
typical
Kellen
Kellen Moore ran offense.
This man
It's a typical Kellen Moore ran offense
so bad.
because I'm telling you now, the play calling. You saw the play calling that Kellen Moore was doing.
This man hates.
I'm
Oh
telling
my
you
God.
now, the play calling was terrible. He
Oh, he
opened
hates
it up a
him
little
so
bit
much.
more, but for the most part, Kellen Moore is not a good offensive coordinator. And it's
Oh,
going to
God.
rear its ugly head again this season, just like it did last season. I know Herbert
Yeah.
got hurt, but even before Herbert was playing, that San Diego, that Los Angeles Chargers offense was not world beaters.
Well, you just leave
It
that
wasn't
little white
world
man
beaters.
alone. Let him make a check.
It's
Jesus, man, he's not on your team
Whatever.
anymore. He's playing for
Whatever.
Philly. You
It's
want him to be
personal.
bad.
It's personal.
I'll
We
just
need to
say
move on.
Yeah.
the Eagles. You guys are talking about how the Eagles were whether they're going to figure it out. I mean, the NFC looks pretty competitive right now. It looks like everybody's kind of on the same wavelength. You got similar,
Yeah.
Expectations. So right now, what Millen said about the Cowboys making it to the Super Bowl seems
That's
pretty
inside out the realm of possibility.
I'm just
Hey,
saying.
but it can be so many upsets. I was thinking about that the other day.
Telling
Like,
you
my
right now.
God, it can be so many upsets, and you're like, oh shit, we're the last team standing.
We gotta move on. We are
He's
making
like, we'll
We gotta
win by
move on.
contrition.
we're making terrible
Mhm.
time right now. All right, we got to speed
Yeah,
up
we
here.
are.
So
Let's go.
Rams and Lions, the Sunday night game. Lions won 26-20. June, what did you think about this game?
Great game. I think the Rams should have won this game. The Lions, they just seemed out of sync in this game. The defense played pretty well, but they still gave up 317 yards to Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's he's a veteran now, and he was using all kinds of tricks and getting the ball out there. They should have won this game. Great call at the end by the Lions to win the game, but I still say the Lions didn't win this game. The Rams lost it. But good. This is another. Nestor just said the NFC is pretty tight. These are two teams that's going to be fighting for playoff spots later in the season. That's all I got.
Malin.
Yeah, fuck you, Puka. That's some bullshit. Other than that, neither team did much in the first half. It's kind of a snooze. Like, both teams had like one good drive in the first half. Other than that, defense is dominated, which is what happened in most of the games that we saw. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Rams have a better defense than maybe I thought they did. Even minus Aaron Donald. And I feel like maybe the Lions, they're not clicking on all cylinders right now. They had a lot of opportunities. Why is Montgomery RB1 right now over Gibbs? Why? Like, does he have some sort of video on Campbell that he's not showing people? Is there a Deshaun Watson type video out there on the head coach, which is why Montgomery's running the football? Because all he does is run into defenders. Gibbs is obviously your better back. It doesn't matter the fact that he's RB1 on my fantasy team. Fuck you. So, yeah, I mean, it was an average game. They're both going to be fighting for a playoff spot, but I think that the Lions have a much easier road to winning their division now that the Packers aren't going to have Jordan Love for a few weeks. They have an opportunity to kind of pad those stats a little bit. Don't at me, people, with the Bears. Hey, don't do it. They're not. I know they won. But your quarterback threw for 51% completion percentage and 92 yards. So let's pump the fucking brakes on this so-called world beater they got down there in Chicago. So yeah, I think the Lions are going to win their division easily this year at this point. And the Rams, I don't know. I hope they suck a lot, and I hope the Seahawks get the wild card and not them.
Just randomly. I don't really have much to say about the Lions. They look good. The Rams, though, they missed Aaron Donald because they just let Montgomery and the Detroit offensive line just kind of push them around that whole second half at least. And yeah, and also offensively, I think their biggest concern is that they're just too injury prone at their best positions. Like last year,
Yeah.
they don't have Cooper Kupp, but they have Puka Nacua. This year, now they got Cooper Kupp's in, but now Puka Nacua's out. And then Matt Stafford is a quick injury away from him being out. It's like, damn it, all your best players are just like so fickle to just being like, all right, well, there goes that. So that's all I got really.
Isn't it crazy that Cooper Kupp tied his career record for receptions in a loss in week 1 for the Lions?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Shut up, Nestor. Kiss my ass. While Puka's in the
They got a
injury
good
tent,
team.
he's up there just racking up fucking catches. I wasn't angry or anything. I didn't cuss at
Yeah.
the TV. Go ahead, Nestor.
Oh man, what a game by Cooper Cup. Got me 30-something points. Damn. The Rams didn't look as bad as I expected them to be. That's kind of what I was expecting. Either way, why did they not utilize St. Brown a lot? That's another kind of like a big question of mine because he didn't do so hot. Kyron Williams, man, like fix that online. Just bring in Blake Corum. Let's just make it a committee. Fix that online. Just make it bring in Blake Corum. Yeah. Other than that, I hope this team stays healthy, obviously, because I need them to. And I just feel like I was gonna say maybe the only thing that could stop the Lions from getting into the playoffs is like, or doing well in the playoffs is maybe Jared Goff getting injured, but then they have Hendon Hooker. So Hooker's a pretty good quarterback, not gonna lie. So I think look at the tape. Look at what Hooker's doing.
You
Look at
would
him
know
and
about hookers.
Detroit.
You would know about hookers.
I don't know a thing about him, but
What's
I can
Hooker
tell
doing?
you that backup
Tennessee.
quarterback. You look at Detroit loves that man.
And
So
then Hooker, I think
yeah,
he,
they're
I
gonna
think
get
he
to the
played for
playoffs. Nothing will stop
UCLA.
them.
He played for Tennessee, didn't he? Hendon Hooker
Yeah, Tennessee.
wasn't he the quarterback
Yeah.
for Tennessee? He's not bad. I don't know. I think you're disrespecting Goff a little bit there. But
Little bit.
All right, let's go on to the last.
which is
game.
weird because when have we ever said that on this show? That someone's disrespecting Jared Goff.
We
Fuck
still
you for
have
making me say that. Nestor.
a lot to get
All
to.
right. One
Yeah.
more. Oh shit! Yeah, we still got the news. Let's go.
Ooh.
Right. San Francisco beat the Jets 32-19 on Monday night. June, go right ahead. What do you think of this one?
Who cares? That's what I think about this game. Fuck San Francisco. Fuck that old man. And I mean, come on. Okay, let's be honest. What?
Who hurt your feelings?
First of all, San Francisco is in trouble. San Francisco lied about the injury report. That's the first thing.
Well, they had him
because
questionable.
nobody thought that McCaffrey was missing the game. McCaffrey's questionable every game.
That's your
King.
calm down.
He has been questionable since the day he stepped into the NFL. Every single game, the man's questionable. This man, they knew that man wasn't playing. They knew he wasn't playing. So fuck them. Okay.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Mason looked good. And I think the 49ers saying, if we want to keep Christian McCaffrey out because of this Achilles tendonitis, I think we can, and I think we'll be okay. But can Mason keep that up long term? Is he a long term runner like that? And now you really got to start relying on Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, yeah, he threw for 231 yards, but a lot of those were dump offs, and Debo was doing all the work. The tight ends were doing all the work. He was dumping the ball off. He wasn't throwing the ball. As you noticed, he did not throw the ball down the field at all. The ball was within 7 yards. And then they did all the work. He did not throw the ball deep. I mean, he got the ball to Ayuk twice. Ayuk did drop a touchdown
That's
pass.
the real
Ask
reason
for
why
all
you're
that
mad.
money, Ayuk.
That's the
Ask
real
for all that
reason why
money,
you're
Ayuk.
mad.
You better catch that ball. You better catch that ball. But yeah, and then on the other side, on the flip side of this, the Jets have a quarterback issue once again. Aaron Rodgers is done as an NFL quarterback.
No.
He's just a shadow and a shell of what he once was. They should have took the time to draft a quarterback this year. They should have been the ones move up and trying to get Michael Penix Jr. I would have tried to move up and get him. They should have been the one. That's what they should have did. They should have moved up and got the guy. The Jets are just like they were last year. We got this great defense. Get smashed by the Cowboys, right? Yeah, you had Zach Wilson. It doesn't matter. You won the first game against the Bills, but I digress. I'll move on. It was a terrible game from the Jets. The Jets are going to get cooked all season long.
Do better.
I kind of feel like there's a lot of unresolved feelings with June right now that we don't have time to get into.
Right. For the man that started off with "Who cares?"
Good Lord, this man got a lot of feelings about these two teams. Well, specifically the Niners and Aaron Rodgers, which I understand because the Cowboys have not been able to get past either of those teams in the playoffs in like 20, 30 years. But anyways, so this game, Purdy did not look good. Wasn't pushing the ball down the field. I do think that Saleh did a good job scheming defensively in the passing game. The only issue is they couldn't stop the running game. Whether it was sweeps or it was Mason, they were just running all over him the whole way. So then they had to change defensively, which opened up a little bit of that passing game. What concerns me about Mason going forward is I don't know if you guys heard his post-game press conference. I know June did because he talked about how we knew he was going to be starting on Friday. We already know June wants the Niners to go to jail. He wants Shanahan in cuffs. But another thing that Mason said, that doesn't worry me about the Niners because I hope this happens, is that he literally said, I don't know how McCaffrey does this every week because I'm tired. That is the most carries.
I did hear that.
That is the most carries that he has had since high school. Never had that many carries in college. Okay. How is he going to respond week 2 or week 3 if McCaffrey stays out? Okay. How fresh is he going to be? That concerns me a little bit. It was in his head as the game ended how tired and sore he was after 1 week. That man better get some fucking treatment. I do agree with you a little bit. Why are you giving all this money to Brandon Ayuk and then he just is missing from the playbook? Were you guys not thinking you were going to be able to re-sign him? Did you guys really think he was going to be gone? Because he sure as shit wasn't in play, wasn't in the game plan. So maybe they can put him back in the game plan. I don't know. And when it comes to the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done as an NFL quarterback. I think that when you start to disrespect Aaron Rodgers when he's healthy and you start saying all this shit, he starts taking it personally, and then he starts ripping off some wins. This is what he normally does. The only problem is that he's got Nathaniel Hackett as his offensive coordinator. And that's a problem because he's a fucking idiot. But I don't know if you guys looked at the interception, the look on Aaron Rodgers' face when that ball got tipped in the air and the other defensive back caught it. Aaron Rodgers looking around like, that's some bullshit. Like, that is some, like, what the fuck? He knew then it wasn't their night and they weren't going to win. You could see it on his face. But I do think that with Garrett Wilson, Lazard out there, he was balling in that game. Bryce Hall, that was a terrible fumble when he did it. But I think the Jets can be better. I think the Jets will be better. I think that defense is I think Saleh can shore up that defensive line. That's all they really need to shore up. I think the secondary and the linebackers played good. I think the defensive line failed them by not getting enough pressure on Purdy and just letting Mason gash them. So I think the Jets will still be okay. I'm not saying they're going to win the division or anything or go to the Super Bowl. But I hope that Mason's tired and I hope he's sore for week 2. That's what I'm saying.
I will make this quick. I really don't have much to say about the Niners, just besides the fact that Ayuk is really funny to me after all that drama. But the Jets, offensively, I blame most of this loss on Robert Salah. Aaron Rodgers, I thought he looked pretty good. June, I think you're kind of tripping on this one, but Aaron Rodgers, he looks good. He couldn't have done much more in that situation, but the offensive, or just really the whole game plan for this was just like, what the hell is going on here? The thing that has kind of gone unnoticed throughout these past few years, really since Salah's been the coach, is the coaching, because the Jets haven't had any real expectations these past few years because they're the Jets. But now that they're like under a microscope, people are expecting them to be a playoff team. Now we're starting to pay attention to like the decision making and all the little stuff. And their offensive game plan was like, what the hell is going on? Why'd you get Mike
It was
Williams?
non-existent.
And they never used Mike Williams. Never used him. I have no idea why he was even out there or why they got him in the first place.
You didn't even try to establish a run.
Yeah, right. And Breece Hall was underutilized in the first place. I get they fumbled the ball, but we all know he's better than that. They had that one really good drive that they scored on where they looked great. And Garrett, like, it was just the Garrett Wilson show. Besides that, it was like, what is this team? There's just a big question mark. So they better get that figured out, because Robert Salah, your job is kind of on the line this year if they don't look good in these situations.
Would it not be crazy, Jalen, if Bill Belichick comes back and coaches the Jets, the same team that he left to go coach the Patriots? I can see it.
Oh my God!
Bill's got some options.
They got a defense.
They do.
They got a defense.
Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah, for all the shit that Aaron Rodgers gets, he looked way better than Zach Wilson out there. Like, it was, you could see the immediate difference. I'm sorry. Honestly, yeah, well, that's true. The Niners didn't look that impressive, but I mean, it is week 1, and they don't have McCaffrey, so yeah, I agree with you guys. Brock Purdy didn't look that good. So, it just reinforces what I said before. The NFC looks up for grabs between those competitive teams. So, yeah.
The fact that Jawan Jennings led the Niners in receiving is just fucking crazy.
Right.
That's fine. All right, we need to get into the news, man.
Yeah, we're gonna speed run the news here.
Not with this topic.
I will say, first thing, we do have the Tyreek Hill. He been arrested before not arrested, but just detained before the game on Sunday. Do we really have anything to say here? Because it's kind of been talked about ad nauseum for the past.
Yeah, it's been talked about so much now. Not really.
I would just say this, that it was disgusting to me what I saw. You not wanting to roll your window down does not mean that you need to be put face first into the asphalt and handcuffed. That was just, and then Calais Campbell gets handcuffed. So somebody needs to lose their job over that. That was just stupid. And then like over a $288 ticket. Did you guys know what he actually got ticketed for? He was visually not clocked by radar. Visually, they clocked him at 60 and a 55 and said he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Visually.
Oh, gosh.
Vision. No radar. Just visually, nah, bitch, you doing 60 and a 55. Put your ass in cuffs on the asphalt. You didn't want to roll your window down. shut up, lose your job, bitch. And all of these other cops that are protecting these people, so-called backing the blue, it's just like
Mhm.
airline pilots. You can't have a bad apple. People die.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, you need to call these people out that do shit like this. It's bullshit. And the only reason why I get so upset about it, Jalen, and I'm sorry I'm taking longer than I should on this, is because we all know what happened over a year ago with myself and Shaq, where I got pulled over by the cops on Dale Mabry after the show. I had obviously had, a shot in a beer while we were there. My license was suspended. Officer was so nice to me, let me go. Shaq, 3 weeks later, same situation, pull his ass out of the car. Like didn't even give it. Like, it just pisses me off. And that was probably the first instance in my life where I would what I would say like was white privilege on my part. But it really pisses me off when shit like that happens. And I hope every single one of them fucking cops get fired. The ones that pulled him out of the car, the guy that said the shit he did, and everyone that was just standing around and letting them have their
Mhm.
little power trip. Lose your fucking job.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Hope you go to jail and you drop the soap. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on.
I just want to say something really quick because I lived in Miami for a while, and I heard the accent of those cops. It just sounds like those cops that have. I'm just gonna say they sound Cuban, and there's I've seen this all my life. Whether there's just older men in Miami that just are Cuban that have these huge power trips. They have this little man syndrome, and it's it's horrible. The way he was talking, not just what happened with Tyreek Hill, but after with John
Wait,
Smith,
talking.
the way he was talking to John Smith, like he was out of his mind. Like he was so
Yeah.
angry
Yeah.
that they had
Yeah.
tested his I don't know his like manlyhood
His
or something.
moxie.
Like what the hell?
Because
So-
he was the same one that pulled Tyreek Hill out of the car
Mm-hmm.
and was like saying, "You need to do what I tell you to." Like you've lost your. He didn't say you lost your fucking mind, but he was like, "You don't understand life or whatever." And then one cop was about to let Juno go because he had explained to Juno that, listen, you can't be here. Like you need to leave. And Juno was about to go, and then that same cop walks over there. Is like, "No, you're dealing with me now. Let me see your license."
Your
Like,
license.
calm the fuck down, little man.
Yeah. That
Calm down, little man.
the whole thing was just
Like-
a big power trip.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
who did your wife have sex with that upset you so bad the night before? Like, Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
All right,
But
let's
I
move
hope
on.
I hope Tyreek Hill sues him. I really does. Hope he sues him.
Let's move on to the next
He could
story
use another.
here.
He could use another car.
A new lawsuit accusing Deshaun Watson of sexual assault in 2020. No, it is not Groundhog's Day, people.
Oh,
It is a new lawsuit that a Jane Doe has come forth to accuse him of. You can go ahead and read the whole story, but
Yeah.
basically he invited this girl on a dinner date. She said, no, meet me at my place. He went to her place, and he proceeded to be Deshaun Watson. I think that kind of sums the whole thing up.
I got this one, Jalen. The Cleveland Browns hired a private investigator to find this woman to get her to come forward so that he could get arrested so that they could void his contract. That's all that happened. The Browns are out there week one. They're looking at this and they're like, we're not doing this anymore. They hired somebody like, find somebody else. And they found this
Find
girl.
something.
They paid her some money and she's coming forward. They're about to get out of this contract.
When Deshaun finds out about
the
Columbia,
Browns are
he's
done.
never coming back.
The Browns are done.
Hey,
Like, fuck
let me
you,
tell you
Deshaun.
something. I'm telling you right now, the Browns want out of this contract. And mainly, you don't know how close you are to probably being 100%
Oh,
true.
that's what I firmly believe
Hey,
happened. They hired
Man,
somebody
they
to
want
find
out of this
girl.
contract. Did you watch him play this game? He did. I don't even know what Deshaun Watson in all offseason and leading up to the game, and the simple fact that the Cowboys were 2.5 dogs to the Cleveland Browns, and people were kept saying how great Deshaun Watson was. And I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck is watching Deshaun Watson with the rose-colored glasses on? Because the Deshaun Watson I see can't make a decision to save his life.
Listen, all I
Can't
know
do
is
it.
that I
The
think
man gets out on the field
Haslam
and you can't play.
isn't the Browns owner's name Haslam?
Mm.
That's his name, right?
I
Yeah,
think
he
so. I think so,
saw
yeah.
he saw what Deshaun Watson did, and he saw what Baker Mayfield was doing with the Bucks. It's like find a girl. I don't give a shit. Find somebody.
You
Find
had
somebody.
to.
That's the most Browns thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Baker be baking down here in Tampa, and Deshaun Watson's out here looking for happy endings, but he ain't finding nothing because it's Cleveland and all them bitches are ugly. So let's move on. Yeah,
I think the Browns are realizing that lemon they bought off the dealership is a lemon, and now they're saying, "Fuck." Simple as that.
What's the Latin word for buyer beware?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the Latin word for buyer beware?
I don't know. Is it? Listen, he ain't finding a pretty girl in Cleveland. I tell you that. You got a lot of ugly ass women in Cleveland. Them people in Western Ohio, it is. They drinking too many Busch Lights up there in Cleveland. You got some.
Well, hopefully,
got some pancake women up there in Ohio. When I say pancake, it's like that flap that hangs over the jeans. Little flapjack women. That's what you got, in Cleveland.
Covette Emptor. Covette Emptor. Buyer beware. That's what you get with Deshaun Watson.
With June there.
Yeah. If Deshaun Watson wants to hit that, he has to like flap that little stomach thing over here, like, and then turn it over like a pancake. Go ahead.
Right, let's keep it moving. Sunday morning or Saturday night, whichever. Dak Prescott got his new deal. Jerry Jones finally kissed and made up with Dak and said, "Yeah, I wasn't serious. I actually do love you." $240 million,
as he should.
4 years, $60 million a year. Of course, he's got the new tag of highest paid player in the NFL history. So there you go, Dak.
As he should.
Go ahead.
It's well, it had to be done because they didn't need this hanging over the head of the team all season long. They didn't need the media to keep talking about it. They didn't need the media to keep talking about it. They didn't need Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy has been in Jerry Jones' office all week long saying we need to get this done. I can't have a team thinking about this throughout the season. And Jerry Jones Jr., Stephen Jones, they sat old daddy down and said, "You better open up that purse. You better open it up." What's out there? What's out there? What's out there? We're going to go get Kirk Cousins from Atlanta. We're going to get Massage Paula Watson, and we're going to get him. No, we're going to get old man Rodgers. No, we're not. We're not going to do it. We're going to let Trey Lance start. Hell no.
Yeah, there you go.
Know what
Trey
I mean?
Lance.
So no. We had to lock up a quarterback for the next 4 years. Because you got to think about this. We got to pay Micah Parsons next year, too. And Trayvon Diggs. We got people to still pay. We got to pay our core players. They did a good job. They got the deal done. It's over. And I'm glad we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Hey, you know what? Pay the future MVP of the league the money he wants.
There you go.
Pay that man.
There you go.
God.
Give him that bread. The only thing that made me laugh about it, Jalen, was him doing the interviews afterwards. It wasn't about the money. It's about the team and everything. If it wasn't about the money, he would have signed for less a long fucking time ago, Dak. It was about the goddamn money. Just be real about it. Don't say, well, it's not about the money. It's about my desire to win. Bitch, shut up. Just say you wanted to be the highest paid quarterback in the league, that you couldn't stomach the fact that Jordan Love made more money than you. Just say it. But yeah. Good for him.
My only comment here is I don't think it's a good job by the Cowboys. I think it was the only thing they could do job, because they could have signed him over the summer before Jordan Love got signed and saved a lot of money instead of paying him north of $60 million. But because they waited, now they had to make him the highest paid player. So
well, I I heard though that Dak's camp was putting it off and waiting because the agents knew that other quarterbacks were going to be getting paid during the offseason, and they wanted to wait until everybody else got paid before they really started real negotiations with the Cowboys. So I don't think that's necessarily on the Cowboys. I think that was more on the agent knowing and being smart that, hey, other people are about to get paid, wait, and then we use that as that bargaining chip. And I think the Cowboys were just stuck.
Mhm.
You're going to go out and draft. It's going to be better. You're going to be stuck in the 20s for the longest time with the team you have. You don't want to waste the Parsons and the Lambs and all these, but go ahead and waste Zeke or whatever. But you know, like they like who else are we going to get besides Trey Lance? You guys give up a 3rd round pick for Trey Lance, you fucking idiots.
If that was the case, then shout out to Todd France, Dak Prescott's his agent, because that's the way to do it right there.
That's the way to do it. That's the only way to do it.
All right, that is the first half this week. I mean, you can tell we are back because, boy, that's a hefty first half for us.
It's about 10 minutes longer than normal.
Right. So, folks, if you want to follow June throughout the week, his TikTok is linked down in the description below. He's got a new TikTok. So if you were following the old one and were not aware of this, he's got a new one. It's linked down below. Let's run that one up. Get him to 1 million followers like he was beforehand, just to verify.
Hey.
And
yeah.
Yes. So, June, thank you again for joining us for another great first half. Happy to have you. In about 10 minutes, we will be back with G Money on the other end and some community comments where we are talking about who you guys think is going to be the MVP this year. Also, the Eagles and Packers game, what you guys thought about that one. And then who you picked to win the Chiefs and Ravens game. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, June.
First down ball came out of his hand. That is a fumble. And it is scooped up. No. Now it's picked up. Still on his feet is Mack. And Khalil Mack to the 11-yard line.
Trying to determine. Gardner Minshew, what is this? What are we doing, man? I know it's week 1, but I could have done that. The Niners will win this one. They are fully healthy at home. We still have to see Aaron Rodgers and the Jets like gel.
I think it's going to be interesting with the new O-line that the Jets have. If they can protect Aaron Rodgers more than the 3 plays that the old Jets line did last year. Give me the Niners in 3.5.
You look at the wide receiver core, you got to go Niners. You look at the running back, even though they got Breece Hall, you got to go Niners on that. But then you look at the defense, and I know that the Jets got Sauce. I know they got players, but you got a potential all-pro on the line, the linebacker, and the secondary with the Niners in Bosa, Warner, and Ward. I just like San Francisco in this.
The Jets have enough with Garrett Wilson, with Aaron Rodgers. I feel like they have enough with Breece Hall. Even though they don't have a good O-line, I think they're going to make it a good game. Give me the Niners to cover it.
Exactly. I fucking knew it.
By 10 a.m., they had his hand behind his back, and then Red got a celebration going with his hand behind his back.
They can't afford to get out to a slow start. 0-1. They are this close away from just imploding. So I'm going to pick them to win this.
I don't like their coordinators. I don't know what to expect without Jason Kelce. And I just think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I'm taking the Packers.
Give me Green Bay. I'm high on Jordan Love and the squad they have.
Give me the Packers. I really don't know how well Philly's O-line is going to do without Kelsey. Made a lot of protection calls, so Hurts didn't have to. Now Hurts is going to have to make those calls. A little bit of a learning curve there.
Take a shot. Too much on. Rise up. Oh, my! Come on, let's go. Somebody got to win. Who wants it? How bad do you want it? Here we go. Right line.
Oh, not tonight, so.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott's going to be an MVP this year. He needs to be paid. He wants to be a Cowboy for life. So Dak is going to go all out this season.
Tua for MVP. If we get to the Super Bowl, Tua had to win MVP. So I'm going to go with Tua.
Joe Burrow's going to be on a mission this year. A comeback season right out the gate. Stop my Patriots week 1.
Yo, Belichick. Pick me, man. Last pick. Oh, last pick.
What's up, guys? We are here at a Bucks creamsicle event. I don't know exactly how to describe this. The Bucks are putting on this event here for all their fans at Armature Works, and we're trying to figure out how to get people to pick our draft order for our fantasy league. We're going to ask random people to pick a team name, out of this bowl, minus the marker. I've already been picked, 12th pick in our draft. We're about to find out who else is going next at number 11. So let's see what we can get into.
Brand new bitch, got some brand new friends, got a brand new bag, got some brand new Benz, got a brand new coupe, that's a brand new Benz, got a brand new watch, skeleton, beady, that's a bust down, shawty get down, shawty come around, shawty know, ain't a nigga I trust, I hit a hole in your gut, but this ain't rush, going too fast, what the fuck, hell we gone. Yeah, slack at a fuck up first.
Ladies, do you mind just picking a name for us? We're trying to decide our fantasy draft.
Sure.
What does that mean?
My balls in your beer?
My balls in your beer is number 11.
Terrible friends, I'm sorry.
Malin, that's all you. Thank you, ladies. Number 11. That's only right. Do you mind just picking a name to see who goes next?
Sure. Team Johnson.
Team Johnson. Thanks, man. Appreciate
That's
it.
more team. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Azan. Johnson. We're just trying to decide the order for our fantasy draft. Do you mind? All right.
This is the first region. Find somebody that looks like they know a little bit about football.
I know.
Oh, your draft order.
Yeah.
All right, what number is this?
This is number 9, I think.
The KU Colts.
KU Colts at 9. Appreciate it, man.
Colts.
Shout out to Kevin. All right.
Give me the Rams. It's going to be a pretty close game. Underrated. A lot of people are overlooking them.
They don't have Aaron Donald anymore. I don't know who they've got now. Detroit's going to figure out who they have and exploit that. Give me Detroit minus the 3.5.
It's going to be the first game without him. I think it's going to take them offensively a little while to get used to not having that anchor there. Detroit at home, I think they'll just be able to outscore the Rams by probably about a touchdown.
I think that Detroit has a better defense, and I think that Detroit can match them on offense. And they're at home on a Sunday night after they just went to the NFC Championship game. And I think there's a little more hype than substance when it comes to the Rams. So I'm going to take Detroit.
Niners handle the Jets no problem at home. First Monday Night Football game. No C-Mac, and they handle the Jets easy. Jordan Mason had himself a game. Shanahan just goes to show that his system is just one of the best offenses in the NFL, hands down. They don't have the best running back in the entire NFL, and they still run all over the Jets, who have a very good defense. Speaking of the Jets, their offense looks concerning. Once the defense seems to key in on Hall and Wilson, nothing else really seems to be going. Why did they go out and get Mike Will and then not use him at all? Why was he even out there? From that standpoint, the Jets still seem to be the Jets. I know it's only week 1, but you've got to be frustrated as a Jets fan. But the other story here is the C-Mac injury update. Why wasn't that disclosed ahead of time if apparently he's probably going to miss even next week too? And Jordan Mason knew he was going to be starting as early as Friday. So that's going to be interesting to see what the NFL figures out with that. I know C-Mac fantasy owners must have been heated. Jets fans, Niners fans, let us know what you thought in the comments below.
Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I like the way this team is made up. And this is a team last year that was one half away from going to the Super Bowl.
I'm with June. I'm taking Detroit to come out of the NFC. They've just been climbing the ladder these past few years. Like draft that they've done, bringing in Dan Campbell, sticking with Jared Goff and making an offense that works well with how he likes to play.
I'm going to go with the boring answer on this one. I think it's going to be San Francisco. I just feel like they're very complete.
I think Dak Prescott is going to throw up a giant middle finger and make $65 million a year after this year. Jerry Jones is going to bust out of a coffin with his little crypt keeper ass and just be happy and die on the field holding a Lombardi trophy.
Even though they did lose their defensive coordinator, but they did gain Derrick Henry, which was a big deal. I think that's going to help them get over that hump, and I think that's going to help them beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Dolphins for the AFC, I think towards playoffs are going to pop off. I could see us beating the Bills, maybe Cincinnati to get to the Super Bowl.
You got to go with the Chiefs, man. It just doesn't matter who this man has on his roster. He doesn't need to throw 50 touchdowns. He doesn't need to throw for 5,000 yards or 4,500 yards. He needs to play smart football, which he does. Andy Reid is a genius on the offensive side of the ball.
There's a right pick here, and then there's several wrong picks. I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't think much more needs to be said. Today, we got the season opener. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens. I know that last year, the Lions went into Arrowhead and won that season opener. However, Chiefs were without Kelsey, and they were without Chris Jones. This Chiefs team is looking ready to rumble straight out of training camp. I really like the Ravens. Trust me, I love Lamar. But I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover the 3 points at home. Chiefs are gearing up to go for a three-peat. They know how important it is to have these wins stacked up early in the season. We forget about these week 1, week 2-ish games because they're just so early on. That's how these teams can win a conference and have that first round bye in the playoffs by not dropping early games. And hey, the Chiefs are trying to go for a three-peat. They're going to mean business right out the gate. Should be a good game. Should be a great game. I'm taking the Chiefs at home. Let us know in the comments below, though. Who's winning tonight? First game of the 2024 season. Welcome back to the show, folks. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. AFR episode 205. Your boys are back for a great second half. We are joined by the one, the only, the biggest Seattle sports fan on planet Earth, G Money.
That's hurtful.
Man, yeah, I am so glad to be on, and I am so glad the NFL started. I mean, you know, there's only so much we can talk about prior to, right? The Olympics is done, the WNBA, you know.
The what?
We got to talk about real sport.
Yeah, we talked about WNBA enough.
Actually, we have. We've talked about that more than we've talked about.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you didn't get too used to it, people, because that is done. Folks, let's start the second half with a nice cheers.
Once again, all of our teams won.
Amen.
Yes, they did.
Next week, that's not possible.
It is not possible next week. When the Patriots are 2-0, I don't know.
Yeah. 2-0 with Dick. Sorry. Gonna let you finish that shot before I said that.
All right. Let's hop into the community comments for this week. Where is my phone? Let's start off with the poll that we ran for the first game of the season. I asked who you guys think was going to win the opener. From TikTok, 52% of the people. We had over 100 people who voted. was gonna make a joke, but I'll refrain involving our government. 52% of the people voted the Ravens. 48% the Chiefs. People, you picked the wrong team.
Yeah.
TikTok being wrong?
When's that ever happen?
Every time.
Let's get into
I mean, everything's not factual on there?
What? Don't believe it. MVP predictions. This is what you guys said. Someone who remains nameless, or Gabe Kate. He says Josh Allen is his MVP prediction. Nico Collins, #1 lover. Heart. Can you guess who his prediction is? I'll give you a hint. It's not actually CJ Collins, but
Is that a he? Is it really a he?
Could be.
He's probably like 14.
I bet Deshaun Watson wishes he had him as a fan.
He could use some right about now. And then Easy Rocket says, my pick was Jordan Love, but with him out 3 to 6 weeks, my pick is Josh Allen. I don't know if can you change your pick?
So high on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, after week 1, I guess you can.
He did give me 30 points in fantasy, so there's that.
Yeah, but really MVP?
Yeah, MVP is a bit much.
I mean, maybe. I suppose if he threw for 5,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, ran for another 800 yards and 8 or 9 touchdowns, it'd be Lamar Jackson-like.
You'd have to,
And
yeah, I was about to say,
win
you'd
it.
have to have a Lamar Jackson-like and at least win the division. You got to win the division. I guess it could happen if he doesn't get hurt, but he normally gets hurt. Really gets banged up.
Right, he already nicked his thumb or something last game, which I mean, when you're playing hero ball like that, it's kind of to be expected. All right, and then the last video here. We don't want to take too much time on the comments this week. The Eagles and Packers, when we were predicting who was going to win this game or cover this game, there was some interesting comments in this one. So Naez Nierbo says, it's crazy how people underrate the Eagles this year with this roster and say things like Jordan Love is better than Hurts. And then he proceeded to get into an argument with CJ. I won't go into there. San Dreyway says, still a top 5 O-line without Kelsey. Mullet Daddy says, the amount of delusion with Packers fans is crazy. Jordan Love stinks.
Your name is Mullet Daddy. I don't think you get to comment on anybody making money in the NFL when your name is Mullet Daddy.
I mean, Mullet Daddy was testicle mama taken already?
Shit. I love this show.
And then I said last video, but this is the actual last video. Who is going to win the AFC this season? Brady something says, I got Lamar finally getting over the hump and winning it all. Chiefs have a very rocky year. Taylor and Travis break up to help with views and something to talk about.
Did he say that before the Chiefs beat him?
Correct.
Okay. Because I think that the Chiefs are on some pretty solid footing right now after beating.
David knows sports kinda says Ravens win the Super Bowl this year and Lamar gets back-to-back MVPs. David, you may want to rethink that one.
Your tight end better cut off that toe if you want to win back-to-back MVPs.
Right.
Battle Lamar needs to hit wide open receivers in the end zone.
Jesus Christ. How do you How do you throw it 2 yards behind your wide receiver when he's that open? He's that open that you underthrew him 2 yards and it didn't get picked off. Jesus Christ.
That's going to do it for the community comments this week. That all comes from our social media at AFR Sports. Exactly how it sounds, folks. On Instagram and TikTok. Be sure to follow us in either place if you want new videos every single day. Maybe your comment will be read on the next community comments. Also, we do have a Discord. It's free to join. It's linked down in the description below on every episode. So hop into our Discord. It's a lot more active now that the NFL season has started. So we can give you shit about your team and what they may or may not be doing in real time. So yeah, let's hop into the best segment on this show. The segment that you come here for because you need a little extra change in your pocket this week.
A little juice.
And that is, of course, the Ride or Die in 5, where we give you the 5 best sports bets to make this weekend, or NFL bets to make this weekend. We will start off with how things went down last week.
Shut up.
For some reason, I can't put the damn thing on the screen right now. I don't know why.
You were 4-1. You're plus 59.
Some of us.
I was
mainly me.
I was 2-3. I'm plus 54. G Money was 2-3. He's plus 29, and Nestor was 2-3, plus 24. Someone had a better week than the rest of us.
It's true.
Won't mention any names.
I mean,
Yeah. Might be Ray Charles' son. I'm not. You need a
mean-
DNA test. I swear to God, you need to. I don't think your dad is actually your dad. You look too much like Ray
he
Charles
is.
right
If
now.
you saw my dad, you would, without a doubt, know that was my father.
Oh. Well, maybe he is Ray Charles' son then. Maybe you're his grandchild. I don't know. But you look way too much. Like if Ray Charles was coming into his own right now, he would look just like you, like right now. I could just see one of the keys doing that Stevie Wonder fucking head. You little 4-1 ass.
I just want to curse. No, not want to curse them, but damn it, Nestor's Dolphins. Because if it wasn't for those meddling Dolphins, I would have been 5-0 this week. Jesus.
You goddamn mammals. You mammals.
All right, but this ain't about last week. This is about this weekend we've got coming up here. So we are going to start with the Thursday night game. First game back on Amazon Prime for the season. We've got the Bills going to the very hot, humid Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites tomorrow night at home. G Money, what do you like here?
this is the irresistible force versus the immovable object paradox. So you have the Bills with Josh Allen, who are 11-1 versus Miami. That one lost by 2 points. Then you have the Dolphins under McDonald. First 3 weeks of the season, since he's been coaching them, they're undefeated. They have not lost a game the first 3 weeks of the season that he's been coaching them. So, the paradox. What do you do? It took Josh Allen trying to break his hand and rushing for touchdowns that he probably shouldn't have to win that game. Miami woke up in the second half, and Tyreek Hill realized he wasn't actually in handcuffs and he could catch the ball. I'm going Miami. I'm going to go Miami minus the 2.5. I look at it and I just don't think the Bills are quite as good as they think they are. And I don't know if I can go against Miami's coach. Don't think I can.
All right, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna agree with G Money. I really don't have much more to add here. It took a lot for the Bills to just edge out the Cardinals in a Herculean effort by Josh Allen. Listen, I expect big things from the Dolphins this year, and they need to win this game if they want to be serious this year, at least in the AFC. So they're at home with this one. I don't think they play the Bills again until November when they go to Buffalo. It's gonna be cold as shit. They better handle their business in their own environment. So 3 points, hey, if you can win by 3, they should be able to do that. So
Wasn't it 2.5?
it is 2.5, but I'm expecting them to win by a field goal. Malin.
So here's the whole thing that G Money was talking about with the paradox is that I was on the show last week saying, like, making a mockery and asking what does Vegas know that we don't know over the Jacksonville Miami pick, with Miami being only 3-point favorites.
Right.
And they didn't even fucking cover. And they were 3-point favorites at home, which the home team always gets the points. Like, they always get 3 points. So now I'm looking at it, it's 2.5. Vegas is being more disrespectful towards Miami. I'm really torn on this one because I know that it took a Herculean effort for Miami to beat Arizona, but is Arizona possibly better and than we thought they were? I don't know. This one hurts me. I would normally probably go against you, Jalen, knowing who you picked to try to pick up a game on you, but I don't think this is the type of game to pick on that. I'm going to take Miami with the -3, even though Mosert's hurt. And I'm gonna roll with it. Hopefully, you and I both win. But this is not the game that I'm gonna pick against you to try to make up a game because I think it's just gonna be too tight. Josh Allen is too much of an X factor that could swing this game either way, and the fact that Vegas isn't even giving them three points, it just makes me. Vegas knows something. They know something. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Miami. Hit Miami. We'll let the chips fall as they may.
All right, Nestor. I know you're going to try and give us the runaround here, but
we know you're taking Miami.
I'm gonna be direct. I'm gonna be very direct. We figured something out in the second half against the Jaguars. Our defense, primarily. When we made ETN fumble, that's our defense. And I'm not saying we're going to stop Josh Allen because we're not. But we're going to somewhat contain him more than what Arizona did. And I don't think Arizona is as good as people think they are. And it was more of the Bills.
I really think they're good.
Now I will say the Bills are better than they were last year because they don't have Stephon Diggs. Ironically, when they played us and beat us last year, Stephon Diggs went off. At one game, he went off against us. And our defense, our secondary is awful. But I think we're going to get some things very right in this game. And we're actually going to beat the Bills by a field goal. So give me Miami.
all right. So we're all in agreement on that one tomorrow. Let's fast forward to Sunday at 1:00. We've got the Saints going to the Cowboys, or the Cowboys. So, by the way, some of these, the spread is just a little different because I updated them right before we went live. So, this one is 6.5. I think it may have been 6 when I sent it to you guys. But yeah, 6.5 point favorites for the Cowboys. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm taking the Cowboys to cover. I do think that the Saints benefited greatly off of a very bad Carolina team, and they just looked like world beaters for a week. The Cowboys, I think, are actually pretty legit. 6.5 points. I really think they can cover this by, they should win by a touchdown. Which this should be a pretty good game. But at the end of the day, I'd like the Cowboys and take them much more serious than I take the Derek Carr led Saints. So I'm taking Dallas to cover at home. Malin.
Isn't Jalen? You're really good at picking these. You picked Dallas to cover at home, right? Looking at how Dallas performed against Cleveland versus how New Orleans performed, I feel like if you're giving Dallas 6.5, first of all, this is really distracting to me. Is G Money frozen on anybody else but me? Doing the little I don't know thing. Okay, so he's only frozen me. I'm frozen with G Money just doing this, and it's really distracting. I can't think of anything else other than what G Money's doing right now. I'll put it in Discord, guys. It's really funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really hold a whole lot of stock that New Orleans is going to be able to put that same offensive output 2 weeks in a row, much less against Dallas. So I'm going to go ahead and take Dallas into 6.5 points on that one.
Nestor.
Yeah, there's no way I can go with New Orleans on this. That defense from the Cowboys, I could probably see Derek Carr getting hurt in this game. And
God.
Apart from, maybe Taysom Hill doing some things a little, all-in-one gadget they have with that tight end, there's not much else going from that. That sounds terrible. That there's not much else that can go with that. Alvin is not going to have a lot of success against that Cowboys defense. So give me Dallas, obviously.
All right, G Money, go ahead.
Well, it was simple, right? Last week, you saw how Derek Carr could operate when he had no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like an all-star. Looked like a MVP. No pressure, hitting everybody. In fact, the Saints actually probably looked like the best NFL team out there last week. Everybody else kind of bumbled around the first half and then figured out who they were and then turned it on. They started from the get-go. But then again, they were playing Coastal Carolina, a Division II college team. They're going to go to Dallas, and Dallas is going to beat them. They're going to blitz the shit out of them. Derek Carr is going to remember what it was like to be in Vegas when he was getting blitzed. He's going to throw probably 2 picks, and they're going to go down like a cheap freaking hooker. They're going down.
Oh, Deshaun Watson will be all over that.
Right. All right. So far, we're all in the same boat here. All right, let's go to another 1:00 game. We've got the Bucks going to Detroit. This is one where I believe it's changed by a half point. As I said to you guys, it's 7.5 points in favor of the Lions now. Hey, Baker and the boys trying to go get revenge at the scene of the crime. Malin, we're going to start with you. What do you like here?
I'm still taking Detroit. Even if I thought that the Bucks were going to cover, I'm taking Detroit. This is just one of those teams that I can't just bet for. It's the Bucks. I mean, come on. I do think that Detroit's a better team. I think obviously Detroit's defense is better than Washington's defense. So I don't think Baker's going to be balling as well as he was last week. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with Detroit on this one on the -7.
Nestor.
It's -7 or is it 7.5?
7.5. I'm still taking Detroit at 7.5. It don't matter. Come on,
I'm pretty sure.
Buckmaster. Throw
I'm
some
pretty sure
balls,
I
man.
picked,
Pick Detroit.
I'm pretty sure I picked Tampa when we did the playoffs. Back in January, we were picking that. And I got burned pretty bad on that. Because Detroit won pretty convincingly. I don't know who was saying that Tampa. I saw a show where they were saying Tampa almost won that game. We were not watching the same game because Detroit won that pretty comfortably. Give me Detroit. They have everything going for them. They have defense. They have that monster who I forgot his name just now out of nowhere because we say it so often, but I don't know why. Probably because I have no running water tomorrow. But they just have a great team on all sides of the ball. I mean, Baker's gonna try and do something, but he's not gonna bake this game. So I'm sorry. Detroit, 7.5.
The only thing the Lions are fucking up right now is wearing the blue jersey with the blue pants. I don't know why they had to do the monochrome look with the new. They got them tough ass jerseys on the top, and they could have done the gray pants, and they decided to look gay. Whatever.
G Money.
Yeah. It's hard to look gay in Detroit.
I think it's pretty easy. You can't even drink their own water. Yeah.
No, that's Flint. Flint, they can't drink their own water.
True.
No. I'm going to take Detroit. I mean, when you look at it, and you look at Tampa Bay beat Washington. Detroit has a better offense than Washington does. They have a better defense, and Detroit played a better team last week. They played the Rams. The Rams' defense was okay, not as good as it was a year ago, but offensively, even with man, what was that wide receiver's name again that went out? Well, who was he? But I mean, Cooper Kupp went up. They still didn't win, and I just can't see Detroit not covering unless, of course, half the team goes out, gets injured. But no, give me Detroit minus the 7.5. Tampa comes back with a loss.
From G Money, I expect that take, but from Nestor and Malin, have we no faith in our hometown boy, Baker Mayfield?
You don't have faith in the hometown boy. Shut up, Jalen.
I am not expecting the Buccaneers to win this game, but if you give me 7.5 points to that offense,
okay, you're gonna go. Hey, you're gonna go ahead and give me one on there. You can go ahead and do it if you want to.
Give me the Bucks and 7.5 points. I can see Baker in garbage time throwing a last minute touchdown that's meaningless to the Lions, but to the spread, hey, they can come within a touchdown in this game. So
we're not dealing with Washington's defense. We're not dealing with Washington's defense, man.
All I'm asking from the Bucks is that they just keep up to some degree. That's it.
They did it in January.
They did.
Left in the dirt.
Now, if this game was in Tampa, give me the money line.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. In Detroit, give me the points. All right, let's move on to the next game. 4:30, we have got the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Chiefs, where the Chiefs are 5-point favorites at this point in time. Listen, apparently the only threat to the Chiefs is the Bengals, but we'll see. Nestor, what do you like here?
I'm going to be very quick on this. I said the Bengals were fraudulent before the season started, and the first week they lost to the Patriots. So I'm I'm gonna go with Kansas City. They win comfortably. So Jamar Chase has all that drama going on. Burrow's not looking like Burrow. He's got something in his hand. So it's not going to be a good season for them. They're going to show some talent here and there, but it's not going to be the season that some of us still think about 2 or 3 years ago. So give me Kansas City. Comfortable. I'm at peace with this.
G Money.
Yeah, I got to go with Kansas City. I think there are going to be issues at wide receiver for the Bengals, with T. Higgins being franchised and wanting a new contract but not going to get it. Jamar Chase also wants a new contract and he's not going to get it. They play, but they don't play as hard as they can because they're like, well, screw you. And as we saw with the Chiefs, now they've got 2 wide receivers and Kelsey. They got the X-Man and they got Rice. And until Rice gets suspended, they're a better team this year than they were last year.
Weird.
Suspended.
He should have gotten suspended for week 1, man.
No.
He should have.
No.
NFL is turning into the NCAA, man. They're weak.
Wait till next year.
They're weak.
Got some personal feelings getting involved.
Apparently, no, I'm just saying. Apparently, you need video evidence of Ray Rice smacking somebody and pulling them out of an elevator. They're suspended in this league now.
Well, even with that, they were going to suspend him. It wasn't until that actually made TMZ.
Until the video, yeah.
Well, until the video went out on TMZ, and then it's like, yeah, we probably should suspend you.
Was that actually him in the video?
It wasn't grainy. It was grainy. Ham security videos. No, that was him. Little hamster.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Chiefs to cover. Out of all the games this week, this is the one I feel most comfortable picking. Jamar Chase was not effective in last week's game at all because he wants to get paid. So apparently he's not playing at 100% until he gets paid. So he's just kind of half-assing it. T. Higgins, if he does play, that same kind of situation there. And then Joe Burrow, something's up with his hand. And that O-line was awful. And it's just it's the same old early the September Cincinnati Bengals story where they're just bad at the start of the season. It's only week 2. They're playing the best team in the NFL. I don't see how they win this game by any means necessary or by coming within 5 points. So give me the Chiefs to cover. Malin.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson wants to or Chase wants to get paid more than Justin Jefferson. And he comes out of the gate with 6 catches for 62 yards. That's not going to get you paid, man. I don't know what's happening there. Higgins was out. He's probably going to be out this week. Foolish of me to think that Moss could do anything close to what Mixon was doing, because Mixon is just leading the NFL in rushing with the Texans, while Moss had 9 carries. 9 carries Moss had in that game. They're going to do the same thing. And so, yeah, Kansas City's going to beat their ass. Cincinnati is going to fire the head coach at the end of the year, get a competent head coach, and maybe they could be better because this guy has butt fumbled the shit out of this talent they've had in Cincinnati the entire time he's been there. From year 1, never mind the fact that they actually went to Super Bowl in year 2, he lucked into that. He's just not good at scheming and utilizing the players that he has. And I don't have any belief he's going to do it, especially if Joe Burrow is already dealing with something. Burrow, what are you doing, man? Like, be in a fucking bubble. Like, just be bubble boy at this point. Like, stop getting fucking hurt. So, yeah, I got to take the Chiefs.
I will say shout out to Jay on the Cheap Seats podcast, which is on the Man Caves network. He's a big Bengals fan, and he was apparently the Bengals fans, they're still riding. They still think they can beat the Chiefs next week. But one of his biggest gripes to the fact that their running game is just non-existent, which is very true. And him and a lot of other Bengals fans are confused as to why they even traded Mixon at all, which, I mean, I agree. I don't understand why that happened if you don't have a better option there. But, hey, well, guess we'll see. Time will tell. last game. We've got the Sunday night game. Two young guns going at it between the Bears and the Texans, where the Texans are 6-point favorites at home. G Money, what do you like here?
Not a damn thing about Chicago. Not a goddamn thing. If it weren't for the defense, they would have lost last week. And Caleb Williams Caleb Williams was a rookie. Exactly what he showed, that he was a rookie quarterback. I'm taking Houston. And it surprises me that the spread is only 6.5. I would have thought it would have been much more, because the Chicago offense is, offensive. The only thing they've got going for them is the defense, and I just don't think it's going to play that well against Houston. And as we know, Houston has a defense. They may not have played quite as well as they should have against the Colts, but they're going to show up. They're going to show up, and Chicago will be 0-2.
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Texans to cover this one. Hey, I believe in my man CJ Stroud. This is his year to really start making his mark in the NFL. Caleb Williams, he's obviously a year behind CJ Stroud. Was not impressive at all against a very bad team. And listen, if you're gonna be that guy, CJ Stroud, you win this game handily over a team that is not as good as you. So give me the Houston Texans to cover this one. Stephon Diggs should be lighting them up. Tank Dell should be lighting it up. Nico Collins should be it should be just an all-out Houston Texans look like the AFC contenders that they should be in this game. So give me the Texans to win this one by over a touchdown. Malin.
Yeah, I can't see any reason why Houston doesn't win this game. If CJ Stroud is in the gifted class, then right now Caleb Williams is in the special needs class. You can't come out the gate painting your nails with 51% completion percentage and 92 yards passing, and then act like you did something to win the fucking game. I know that he's the first round quarterback since 2002 to win week 1, but they won in spite of you, not because of you. Bears fans should be concerned. You have a lot of weapons on that Bears offense. And maybe it's because you got a head coach from Canada and Eberflus. Maybe Junebug can talk to him when it goes up there. Something. But you got way too much talent on that offense to play as poorly as you did. You had an entire offseason with even just rookie mini camp with Odunze and Williams, and then mini camp, and then training camp and preseason games. For them to come out the way that they did, it just shouldn't happen. Should not happen. So I think the Bears are in trouble. Go ahead and give me Houston.
And Nestor.
Yeah, the only thing that might stop this from being a complete blowout is that Chicago defense, because they have Mixon now, pretty good, damn good running game. They have Stephon Diggs feeling himself. They got Nico Collins and Tank Dell. It's just that defense is just gonna try and do what they can do, but I don't expect anything on the offense for the Bears. So yeah, give me Houston.
All right, so just want to make sure we have this correct here. From the top, we all have Miami covering against Buffalo. We all have the Cowboys covering against Dallas. You guys all have Detroit covering against Tampa. I'm the odd man out on that one. And we all have the Chiefs covering against the Bengals. And then we all have the Texans covering against the Bears. Well, we are mostly in the same boat this week.
I feel like one of us might be for him.
Very specific.
I do have to say that I think last week the Miami-Jacksonville game, if that was a 3-point game, then we all got a push. We didn't get a loss because Miami won by 3. That's a push, my friends. Casino's giving you your money back.
I think it was 3.5 or something like that.
What? 3.5? Are you sure?
There was a half point in there. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a half point. Mila, I think you're on mute.
It's like
I'm just saying, I have it right here. I got it right here. That you have it at 3 points in the show on the rundown. You have it at 3. That game.
Okay, where is the damn?
Yeah, it says -3.
Yeah, it does say -3. But it was supposed to be 3.5.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
It's a push. Everybody got a push there. We all got a tie. You don't see that very often.
Which, in your guys' case, didn't really make a difference because
well, it helps me
in the same standings.
Helps me.
But it takes away a loss.
2 and 2, not 2 and 3. Damn right.
Right. I guess for Nestor and G Money, they're still in the same boat. But
how's that not help me? I'm 2 and 2 instead of 2 and 3. What are we doing? And you're 3 and 1 instead of 4 and 1.
Right. I'm saying in Nestor and G Money's case,
well, no,
it doesn't help them because they're in the same position.
Yeah, they are the same.
Yeah, we didn't change positions any, but it did help our overall stats when we're trying to give viewers and say, hey man, look, it's a push. So you went 2 and 2 and a push. So you didn't go 2 and 3. So you didn't lose money. You broke even. And if you're sitting in the sports book drinking for free, bingo. It's all money.
I will update that now overall, so we're all on the same page. When I bet the game, it was 3.5. Just so you guys know. So I lost money, so that's fun.
Well, you put it at 3.
212. So you're plus.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, that was a good show.
Sorry, I was just updating the records
show.
before I forget.
That was a good show.
It was a good show.
Love you guys.
I will say that I think all of us will agree the first week of football, the first half of most of the games were just ugly. I mean, I know Mayo and I watching the Seattle game, that was just that was freaking a nightmare. But I think it comes down to the fact that you're only playing 3 preseason games. You're not doing a lot of hitting during camp. And the last preseason game, you're playing your starters 1-2 series, and that's it. I mean, it used to be when you played 4 preseason games, the 3rd preseason game, you played your starters the first half. The last preseason game, you played your starters basically almost all the way through. And I think you see that, what happens when you don't do that in the regular season. You see a lot of offsides, illegal formations, a lot of things that you shouldn't see. But just because they haven't played, your first team hasn't played together, except in practice, they're like, oh shit. Yeah, you are lined up offsides. And, used to be that when you played 4 preseason games, usually the last preseason game before that, they'd have referees in there basically during your practice, and they'd like, okay, this is our emphasis this year. This is what we're watching for. Your left tackle is lined up offside. So you make the adjustment so that way the left tackle knows, and they play that 4th preseason game, and they're all aware of that. Yeah, we saw that. I mean, my God, the Packers-Eagles game, it was like every other play where there was an illegal formation because of the tackle. And after a while, you were just like, I just didn't want to watch it anymore. I'm like, just stop calling it. Just let them play. And then they're playing on a football pitch, which is a different type of pitch basically than what you play for the NFL. And you see that when you go to Europe, when they play in Germany or play in London. And you wonder why there are injuries. It's like, because it's a different type of pitch. Just the way it's set up and everything. So, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, 205 in the books, people.
205.
It's
Folks.
11:30. I'm wearing sunglasses. Thank you, Jalen.
That will do it for this week. Again, be sure to follow us on social media. It's all linked down in the description below. We'll talk to you all next week when week 2 is in the books. Almost forgot to mention. Next week, we will not be live Wednesday. We'll be live Thursday. We'll be doing a watch along. My Patriots are playing the Jets next week. So Thursday, we'll be watching that game live and also talking about what happened this past week. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, that will do it. Have a good week, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.